Hello there. Today we are going to talk about the BlueBox. I think this is a kind of slept-on device by 1010 Music. It's a digital mixer and recorder, and it's got some really cool features that I'd like to talk about real quick. So let's dive into it. All right, so first of all, I just want to say that, mixers are handy, and this is pretty small. So it's not taking up a ton of space. It's very easy to bring around with you. It's also just got a micro SD card that you can use to store things. We'll get into that later in just a few minutes. But otherwise, just mixers are really helpful. They're great for, bringing all your audio in together and being able to manipulate it, control it, refine it, and that's just super helpful. So this nice thing about the BlueBox is this is 6 inputs and 3 outputs. So we got our power, we have a USB host for MIDI, then we have 6 inputs, 3 outputs. So 2 outputs here, but then one is for like headphones, but you can actually use this as its own output as well. And that's pretty darn helpful. In addition to that, you can decide if each of these 3.5mm headphone jacks, they're TRS, so you can do stereo, 6 stereo inputs, or you can do 12 mono inputs, or any sort of combination in between, which is super helpful. And then 1 is your master out, 2 is like a secondary out, your headphones. 2 and the headphones, you can adjust what specifically goes into those. Super handy. All right, so like I said, it's USB powered. So that is super nice because it means it's even more portable. The only thing that could maybe make this more portable than it is if it had a battery built into it, but honestly, it's fine to me that it's not. I'm okay with kind of outsourcing the battery component or just power in general. I'm just going to power up through a USB cable, USB style B, and we're just going to go straight into an outlet. So that's how we're doing it today. I've used a bunch of different power banks. I have recently used this one by Anchor. It is 10,000 milliamps, I believe. Yep, 10,000 milliamp hours. And this one, when I tested it, it'll run the BlueBox here for about 7.5 hours, I believe it was. Your mileage may vary based on, temperature and stuff, but that's pretty darn good. And that was, I want to say that on Amazon, that little power bank was like $20, maybe $15. It was actually really quite cheap. So really, really nice. That's very easy because then you can take it anywhere and you can get like a full day basically of having this thing turned on and using it. Next up, we have different projects. You can save a bunch of different projects. That's super handy, and then you can just load them up whenever you want. We can change our display, how many tracks we're showing, single or double row. Here's double row, single row. Pretty nice and straightforward. And then we can obviously customize these. So we can come in here and say, track 1 is keys. And then we'll see it show up there. And sometimes if you have a longer name, the double row is a little bit nicer, but just depends on how you're naming stuff. The other nice thing is that you can load your own WAV files into the BlueBox. So you can come over to, I think it's edit here. Yep. You can pick a track and you can add in different WAV files. You just select which one is active, and then that will pop it in where you want it. So in this case, you can use it as like a backing track. Load up your, make your tracks in your DAW, export them as WAV files, throw them on the micro SD card, and then you can load them up here, and then you can play them, and you can even have a click, and you can decide where you want that to be output. The main, the Q, the out 2, there's also a hidden out 3, and that makes it really nice. You can decide the BPM to make sure it's in sync, or you can use the MIDI on the front here to have it sync with some other type of gear. Another nice thing about this is it has audio over USB. So you can get the master output, the master stereo output, to be sent into USB. So you can get a little adapter cable from 1010 Music that splits off this USB type B cable to be two, one for power, one for audio. And then you can use that to go to any device that accepts class compliant USB audio. So a great use case for that is you can take it and just plug it straight into your iPhone or Android, and then when you're recording a video or you're working on a little song, you can just have it pump straight out of here into your device. Super handy. Again, helps with that portability feature. Another nice thing about the BlueBox is the effects. It has actually really great sounding effects. It has a delay and a reverb. Those come through. Effects 1 is your delay, effects 2 is your reverb. I'll give you a little taste of that, but I'm gonna have another video pretty much dedicated just to the effects because I want to show those in more detail and really let you hear them, because I love the effects in the BlueBox, and I think that it's something that no one is talking about, and they should be. Additionally, the BlueBox can record. So, if we come over and load up a new project and we just have, regular tracks, we can arm them all to record. And then you can just start recording, hit record, and then hit play. And whatever comes in, it will record. You'll be able to see it all here. You'll see little WAV files, and you can play from certain points. You can punch in and punch out. So if you wanted to re-record just one section, kind of like an old tape machine, you can just punch in and punch out in one section, re-record a take. Additionally, you can re-record over top. So as you kind of saw a little bit when I had the tracks loaded here for a backing track for the band I'm in, when you come into edit, you can load up individual files per each input. So for instance, the guitar here is just one input where I put 3 files in because I didn't know which one I'd want to use. But when you record, it does the same thing. It'll just layer those recordings over top of each one. So you could take, as many takes as you want, as far as I know, of one song or of one instrument or of a whole thing, because you got 6 inputs, so a whole band could be recording all those inputs, and you could do multiple takes, and then you can just come over and switch which one is active, and that's the one that you're going to hear when you hit play. Another thing that's really nice about the BlueBox is it's pretty darn affordable. I believe it's only like around $650, $600 or $650, one of the two. So it's very affordable. It's not super expensive, and it's just a nice little mixer that you can have in your arsenal for not very much money. With 6 inputs, 3 outputs, and USB audio, and great effects, and just general handiness of being a mixer, where you can mute everything, you can solo, you can adjust your gain and your overall volume, panning. Here's your Q and your out to, so you can decide what goes to the headphones output, or what goes to the out to, which is super handy. Additionally, you can, I just learned this recently, you can change the phone source. So if you go into main and hit B to get to the menu behind that, then you can change, does your headphones go based on what you have the Q set to, or does it just mirror what the main output does? So this way you can hear through the headphones all the effects, and you can also hear the compressor, because it has a built-in compressor. You can turn it off if you want, or you can adjust all the settings, attack, release, threshold, ratio, expander ratio. It works as like a limiter as well. It's a pretty flexible compressor. And then you have, just a bunch of settings here that I'm not really going to get into today, about how the Qs and the out to is set up and all that kind of stuff. And lastly, you know, just like any other mixer, you have an EQ per channel and per your master as well. Super nice. You can change the type of, so in this case, I have a high cut here, but if I didn't want a high cut, I could change it to be a parametric. I can adjust my Q, and I can adjust it to wherever I need it to be. So yeah, cut out frequencies. Just, it's an EQ, but it's really nice. And you can make it full screen if you want to, you know, see specifically what you're doing. It's a good EQ. It sounds great. It's very flexible, works well. All right, that's basically it. So before I go, I'll just give you a quick little demo of what it looks like when something is playing out of here. Let me just adjust this real quick. There we go. Here we go. There's a cue on here because, again, this is a backing track, so I set it up to have literal little cues of what part of each song, so don't be surprised when you hear that. And you'll hear the entire song, essentially. I think the only thing we're missing out of here is vocals, if I remember correctly. But this is just an example of, like, if you had, you know, a full band in your backing track, so you can see all of the channels basically going.
Intro, 2, 3, 4. Verse, 2, 3, 4. Pre-chorus, 2, 3, 4. Bridge, 2, 3, 4.
So that's it. Thanks for watching. If you found this interesting, then let me know in the comments. If you have any questions about the BlueBox, then just let me know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this video and a little bit of information about the BlueBox. Thanks. Bye.